Hello and welcome back to Bescheuertes Kurzes Bein, everyone. My name's Lea. Welcome to what I like to call Down the Presidential Rabbit Hole. So, as you may know, I recently had a conversation with Andy Ryan from Reverse Swept Radio, and Andy graciously offered me the opportunity to translate some of the From the Archives episodes of that podcast into German to make them available to my German listeners. And so I was listening to some of the back catalog of Reverse Swept Radio, and I came across an episode in which the From the Archives was about President Eisenhower visiting one day of a test match in Karachi in Pakistan during the 1950s. Well, first of all, this is not just a translation. Obviously, I'm talking English. This is kind of a jumping off point, this Reverse Swept Radio episode. If you haven't listened to the episode, do not worry. I'll link it in the down below, also known as the description box. If you don't see it there immediately, you might have to click on the Show More button on the YouTube channel. But you can listen to that. And I won't spoil much of what Andy has to say about President Eisenhower visiting a cricket match. But he said that he wasn't able to find any more connections between presidents and cricket at the end of that episode. And this got me thinking, because I immediately had two instances of a cricket connection to American presidents. One much more real than the other one. And during my research, I came across a third instance of an American president having something to do with cricket. So, take this as more of a fun little diversion, a little bit of a, as I said, rabbit hole into American presidents and cricket. Enjoy. All right. Because this, in contrast to Reverse Swept Radio, is a kind of video presentation, I have the luxury of actually showing you the picture that Andy mentions during the episode of President Eisenhower greeting the Pakistani cricket team. Here is the photo of President Eisenhower shaking the hands of the Pakistani players. Please note that he is actually wearing a Pakistani blazer. For a fun little episode about that, listen to Reverse Swept Radio. All right. And while I too couldn't find any more pictures of American presidents visiting a test match, I did find some very, very interesting and funny pictures. Let's start with this one, because it was the first one that came to my mind, and because it's the one showing an actual and real and non-fictional president, hint hint for later, with some cricket connection. Of course, we have here former president of the United States, Barack Obama, with what can only be described as one of the better batting coaches a total novice to the game could wish for. Yes, it is Brian Lara showing former president of the United States, Barack Obama. I'm not sure what he's trying to show him here. I don't think it's a drive. Might be a hoik to cow corner, something like that. I was looking for the context when this picture was taken, and I stumbled across an article in the Cricket Monthly that detailed some of the circumstances. So, this picture apparently was taken in 2013 at the 5th Summit of the Americas, which I can only hope is a little bit less sinister than the School of the Americas, which the United States government ran for a lot of the 80s and I think early 90s. it was basically their post-grad school for up-and-coming, promising young dictators from Latin America. Notable alumni include Manuel Noriega and his henchmen. So, well, apparently, this fifth summit of the Americas was held in Barbados, and Barack Obama apparently was very, very eager to meet what he called the Michael Jordan of cricket. I don't know enough about basketball to definitively say if this is a bit of a slide towards Tendulkar, Sangakkara, and Ponting. Don't know if there have been any better basketball players than Michael Jordan, is what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, this article I found on the Cricket Monthly also mentioned that Barack Obama's predecessor, George W. Bush, actually visited some nets in Pakistan during the waning days of his presidency. And that he tried to hit a tennis ball in some Pakistani nets. So that was the first, distraction. How can I call it? Yes, I think a distraction or a fork in the tunnel, if you will. And so I got digging on the internet, and I actually found it because the White House archives actually have that picture. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. I give you President George W. Bush trying to hit a cover drive, a lofted cover drive, something like that, in 2006 on the grounds of the United States Embassy in Islamabad. During a net session with boys from the Islamabad College for Boys. This picture was taken on Saturday, March the 4th, 2006. What we can hopefully all agree on is that his successor made a much better figure holding a cricket bat. And I think the wicketkeeper in this picture would agree if he had been present in Barbados in 2013. I really would have liked to see a picture of George Bush trying to bowl, but I think it's plausible to think that he wouldn't have made a much better figure with the ball than with the bat, judging by his first pitches he threw out during the 2001 World Series, which I think was the first game of baseball played in New York after 9/11, back in the day when the Arizona Diamondbacks and New York Yankees faced off. And so with this unexpected second really existing president playing cricket done, we're coming to the second reference or second connection I had in mind originally, which is of course the West Wing. And before anyone mentions it, yes, I am indeed aware of the Jared Kimber video about cricket references in Aaron Sorkin media. He mentions the West Wing, he mentions Sports Night, Newsroom, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. I am aware of it, and well done, Jared, for the walk and talk references in that video. Very well done. I will, of course, link Jared's video in the down below, also known as the description box, but Jared couldn't find out why Aaron Sorkin is so fascinated with cricket. And let me, after giving you a brief overview of the references, or give you some examples, let me offer a theory on why Aaron Sorkin is so fascinated with cricket. Okay, for background, the reference, of course, is kind of a political soap opera written by Aaron Sorkin, who most people probably know. He first came to wider attention as the playwright who wrote A Few Good Men, which was later filmed starring Tom Cruise and, of course, Jack Nicholson. He was hired as script doctor for stuff like The Rock, where he wrote some quips for Sean Connery. He, I think, won an Oscar for The Social Network. So he's no unknown. But he also wrote for television. And his best known television series is probably The West Wing, which is kind of a liberal fantasy that helped people over the 8 years of the second Bush administration by creating a parallel liberal fantasy land in which a decent president is sitting in the White House and the sane people are in charge and handling all the crises that befall the United States and the wider world. But the cricket references in this series come hard and very, very fast. This is still from one of the first episodes. I think it's the 6th. Please forgive me if I can't, if I get the episode numbers wrong. But this is a picture showing the White House General Counsel, Lionel Tribby, who is storming into the Oval Office holding a cricket bat that he claims he was gifted by Her Majesty the Queen of England. And he threatens to kill a Republican operative with it. This inside the first 10 episodes of the first season. And spoiler alert, he doesn't kill her. Her name is in the credits. So, but that's not the only cricket reference that pops up during the first season of The West Wing, because we also have Lord John Marbury. He is something like a special envoy of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II of England to the White House. And he has no official standing in the US government, but he gets consulted a lot. And Lord John Marbury is the kind of person that appears to be, well, 1.5 sheets to the wind at breakfast, having a drop of something, brandy perhaps, with his morning tea, which is kind of a facade. But that's not the point. He also likes to use cricket metaphors a lot. When he gets consulted about India and Pakistan and the tensions between the two states, there's a lot of references, if I remember correctly. And in later seasons and in later episodes, there's also the president and other people referencing cricket, and cricket comes up a lot. I'm not going into that much detail here because you can watch Jared's video for that. Again, it will be linked in the description box. But I will go a little bit into what I think is the reason for Aaron Sorkin's, well, fascination with cricket. Because before Sorkin wrote The West Wing, he wrote something called Sports Night, which was basically a dramedy taking place in a sports, what do you call it? A sports newsroom, maybe. And there is an episode in which someone calls them. They're calling. I didn't watch this series, so bear with me. They're calling one of the main characters with sensational news, And apparently in New Delhi, someone has taken all 10 wickets in an innings. And the episode revolves around no one in this American sports newsroom knowing what that means. And like most Sorkin television dramas, it's played a bit for laughs. There's a lot of witty dialogue, stuff like that. So, okay, why is Aaron Sorkin so fascinated with cricket in a way that probably only someone, or probably only an American, could be? Well, apparently Sorkin has described himself as a hipster, so that would make sense, wouldn't it? Someone from a nation that doesn't really play cricket, stumbling onto cricket and being absolutely fascinated in a bemused kind of way because he doesn't really understand what's going on, and it makes a lot of sense in my mind if you think about it, because as far as I can tell, this sports night cricket reference is the first time that cricket popped up in Aaron Sorkin's work. Now, where did Aaron Sorkin get the inspiration for sports night? And apparently, when Aaron Sorkin was doing script doctor work and scripting for films, he apparently did a lot of blow, also known as Colombian marching powder and nose candy. You get what I mean. I'm not going to say it because of YouTube. And this video getting age restricted and stuff like that. And he used to write in hotel rooms a lot. And he apparently had the TV tuned to reruns of the ESPN news show Sports Center. That's the one with Keith Olbermann and, that other guy that didn't have a mustache. And so imagine a playwright, having ingested mind-altering substances, watching basically what he would later write about in Sports Night, and suddenly, out of nowhere, cricket showing up on an American sports newscast. I do not have any definitive proof for this theory, and Jared couldn't find out why he was so fascinated with cricket either, but he had absolutely no theory. Mine at least explains why Aaron Sorkin is maybe in a bemused way fascinated with cricket. What I can't explain is Aaron Sorkin's fascination with Bermuda cricket in particular. Because in The West Wing, Bermuda cricket comes up more than once, and it's always specifically Bermuda cricket during the later episodes. Weird, kinda. Well, and that kind of brings to an end my exploration of, it's not really an explanation, is it? A bit of my rambling about the connection between American presidents and where looking into that would lead me. Thank you everyone for your attention, and I hope you had a bit of fun. That's all I can hope for. Check out Reverse Web Radio, and of course also Jared's video on Aaron Sorkin. As I said, it's excellent, and not only on a cricket level, it's also full of little Easter eggs and references for everyone who knows Aaron Sorkin shows. So again, thank you very, very much. Something a bit lighter today. Maybe next time there is something more important, more eager, because I have something in the pipeline for that. So, stay tuned. If you liked this video, please leave a like. If you don't want to miss anything here, you can always subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. And again, thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.